Today we are going to take up the third function of management, that is staffing, right? We said that there are 5 functions of management. Number 1 being planning, number 2 being organizing, and number 3 being staffing, right? First of all, under planning, we decide what is to be done, right? Then under organizing, how is it to be done, right? And under staffing, we decide who's going to do it. Right? Now basically after you have chalked out your main organizational goals, right? You've chalked out your organizational goals, and on the basis of those organizational goals you've decided onto an organizational structure that you're going to be taking up, whether it is divisional or it is your functional structure, right? Based on that you can have a fair idea as to what is the kind of manpower, what is the number of people that would be required to hire, that you would require to be hiring, right? So that your organizational goals are achieved effectively and efficiently. Now how do we do that? ये हम कैसे करते हैं? By the function of staffing. Now in simple language, if I was to define staffing, I would say it means putting the right person at the right job. We stop here. Okay, putting the right person at the right job, meaning first of all I have to be clear, right, about what are the prerequisites a person is supposed to possess to perform a particular job. Let us take up an example of being a teacher. What are the prerequisites for being a teacher? It is not that anyone can be a teacher, right? You need to have a certain degree, right? Let's say if you are looking for a teacher for class 11th and 12th, तो कौन पढ़ा सकता है? Basically जिसके पास एक bachelor's degree हो, master's degree हो, and should be a B.Ed also. Right? If that person has these 3 degrees, fine, he is eligible for being a teacher, right? So it's very important कि मैं उसी बंदे को जॉब पे लगाऊं जो उस जॉब के लिए well suited हो, ठीक है? If that person, let's say अगर हम टीचर की बात करें, if that person has a temperament problem, वो पेशेंट नहीं है बिल्कुल भी, ठीक है? उससे वो कहता है कि मैं पढ़ा सकता हूँ, राइट पर मैं एक ही बार एक चीज़ को पढ़ा सकता हूँ, मुझसे बार बार अगर कोई पूछता है क्वेश्चन तो मैं बहुत इरिटेट हो जाता हूँ. दैट मीन्स दैट पर्सन इज नॉट फिट टू बी अ टीचर. व्हाई? बिकॉज यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी पेशेंट व्हाइल यू आर डीलिंग विद योर स्टूडेंट्स. हो सकता है किसी को एक ही बार में समझ आ जाए, हो सकता है किसी को 5 बार रिपीट करने के बाद समझ में आए. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट देयर शुड बी अ परफेक्ट मैच बिटवीन द जॉब एंड द पर्सन, राइट? पर्सन शुड बी वेल सूटेड टू परफॉर्म दैट job. Okay, now what all is required to be done under the process of staffing? It includes estimating manpower requirements, recruitment, selection, training and development, performance appraisal, promotion, career planning and compensation of employees. Again I repeat, it's a process. Staffing is not a one-time activity, it is a continuous process in any organization. Now when I say that it's a process, like I have said in earlier chapters also, that if it is a process, it is going to require a series of steps to be performed. Okay, now number 1, coming to the process of staffing, number 1, okay, before I start with the process, one thing that I have said in the previous chapters also, that to start up an organization, right, we need men, material, कैपिटल, यही बोला था. टेक्नोलॉजी सबके पास सेम होगी, ठीक है? पैसा सबके पास सेम होगा, थोड़ा बहुत ज़्यादा थोड़ा बहुत कम. सो द ओनली थिंग दैट गिव्स एन कंपेटिटिव एज टू एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज इट्स ह्यूमन रिसोर्स. दैट इज द काइंड ऑफ पीपल हु आर वर्किंग इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ठीक है? वो एक कंपेटिटिव एज देगा आपको against the other organizations. If you have a well motivated workforce, right, who are inclined to perform better or who are inclined to better their performance every single day, then definitely there is no stoppage for you, right? You are definitely going to excel as compared to your competitors. So it gives you a competitive edge. So therefore it becomes very important to perform this function of staffing very carefully, to make sure that you choose the right people, okay, who are cut out for the job that you're looking for, right? Now coming to the process of staffing, first step in the process of staffing is that of estimating the manpower requirement, कि मुझे कितने आदमी चाहिए. how many people do I need to hire for the organization, right? Now this particular step is again divided into two parts, workload analysis and workforce analysis. ठीक है, हमने जब ऑर्गेनाइजिंग का स्टेप परफॉर्म किया, हमने एक पूरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर, ठीक है, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रक्चर बना लिया दैट देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर और देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ प्रेसिडेंट, उसके बाद अ वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट के बाद डिविजनल हेड्स, डिविजनल हेड्स के नीचे आएंगे डिपार्टमेंटल हेड्स, डिपार्टमेंटल हेड्स के पास नीचे आ जाएंगे आपके अनदर मैनेजर, एरिया सेल्स मैनेजर्स एंड ऑल, राइट? सो आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड अ कंप्लीट स्ट्रक्चर. Fine. So on the basis of that structure, I can find out what is the exact number of employees that I need to employ in my organization. ठीक है? What is the exact number of employees that I need to hire, right? Then comes workforce analysis. Workforce analysis meaning to find out what is the present number of employees that I have in my organization. This means the total number of employees that I need to hire in my organization, right? Or the total number of employees required by an organization. This is the present number of the employees who are working in the organization, right? The difference between workload and workforce analysis is going to give you the number of employees that you are required to hire. How many more number of employees you are required to hire. But for a new enterprise, it will only need to do this, that is workload analysis. Workforce analysis वो कर ही नहीं सकते, why? Because अभी तो वो new enterprise है ना, it hardly has any number of employees, hire करने हैं अभी, right? So workload analysis minus workload, a comparison of workload analysis and workforce analysis is going to give you a number. It is going to give you the number of employees that you are required to hire. और कितने employees हमें hire करने, इन दोनों को compare करने पे हमें पता पड़ेगा. Second step is that of recruitment. Now recruitment is nothing else but it is a process of motivating people, okay, motivating people to apply for the job positions existing in an organization, right? You motivate them to apply for the job positions which are there in your organization. You look out for people, find who are willing to work in the organization, and then you motivate them, you stimulate them to work, apply for the job positions which are there in the organization. Again, recruitment, this we'll discuss later at length, but there can be recruitment can be done either internally or externally, internal sources of recruitment or external sources of recruitment. Okay, after people have applied for the job positions, ठीक है, after people have applied for the job position, next step that comes is selection. ठीक है, जब कोई वैकेंसी निकलती है in the paper, right, in the newspaper होता है ना situation vacant column, right, you have let's say schools के लिए होता है advertising for marketing, different categories में. What is that? That is a step of recruitment, right? Now what we do is हमारे पास बहुत सारी applications आ जाती हैं, उस vacancy को देख के बहुत सारी applications आ जाती हैं. अब उससे अगला स्टेप क्या होगा कि मुझे उन एप्लीकेशंस में से सिलेक्ट करना है बेस्ट पॉसिबल कैंडिडेट हु इज वेल सूटेड फॉर द जॉब पोजीशन फॉर विच आई हैव गिवन एन एडवर्टाइजमेंट, राइट? अगेन सिलेक्शन इज नॉट अ वन टाइम एक्ट, राइट? इट इज अ सीरीज ऑफ स्टेप which is where it includes a series of steps which are to be performed, right? Now first step in the process of selection is screening. ठीक है, कि हम क्या करते हैं, जितने भी रेज्यूमेज हमारे पास आए हैं, वी स्क्रीन थ्रू ऑल द रेज्यूमेज कीपिंग इन माइंड द रिक्वायरमेंट्स ऑफ द जॉब, कीपिंग इन माइंड द रिक्वायरमेंट्स ऑफ द जॉब. तो जो भी रेज्यूमेज मुझे लगता है कि ये फिट नहीं है या इनके पास रिक्वायर्ड एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, इनके पास रिक्वायर्ड क्वालिफिकेशंस नहीं है, उनको हम रिजेक्ट कर देते हैं, उनको हम अपने डेटाबेस में डाल देते हैं, विच कैन बी यूज लेटर फॉर सम अदर जॉब पोजीशन, राइट? दैट इज कॉल्ड योर प्रीलिमिनरी स्क्रीनिंग. ठीक है, उसके बाद जो बच जाते हैं, राइट, उसके बाद जो मैंने सिलेक्ट किए हैं आफ्टर प्रीलिमिनरी स्क्रीनिंग, राइट, फॉर देम आई कंडक्ट सिलेक्शन टेस्ट्स, राइट, फॉर देम आई कंडक्ट सिलेक्शन टेस्ट to measure their aptitude, intelligence and personality, etc. Right? Now there is a different test for a different kind of a job. Like intelligence tests. Intelligence tests are conducted to test the intelligent IQ level, intelligent quotient हम check करने के लिए intelligent test लेते हैं, right? Like when I had applied for a job in a school, right, I was supposed to be sitting for a test. ठीक है, सब्जेक्ट एक्सीलेंस टेस्ट, आई हैड टू सिट फॉर अ टेस्ट, राइट, जो कि बताएगा कि वेदर डू आई हैव, I mean, how good, what is the kind of subject knowledge that I have. Clear? Second is your aptitude test. Aptitude test means the candidate's ability to learn new skills, right? Does the candidate have the aptitude of learning new skills or not? Clear? Then comes your personality test. It talks about the personality makeup of a person, right? How emotional quotient उसका हम टेस्ट करते हैं with personality test, right? That what is, आप उनको situations देते हैं कि if this is the situation, then what is going to be your reaction? How are you going to be handling this situation, right? Like as if I'm a teacher and I'm given a situation that you are teaching, and in the middle of the class, two students they start to fight. What is going to be your reaction? Now, what my response to this question is going to be, that is going to decide, matlab that is going to give them a clue that what kind of a person I am, whether I'm patient or I'm impatient, right? ये मेरा personality makeup उनको judge करने में help करता है, personality test, right? Then comes your trait test. Trait test is conducted to know your the present skill, okay, that you have. Fine. अगर that means let's say if I want to hire a computer programmer, मुझे उसका पहले present skill देखना है, that how good is he, what kind of knowledge does he have about the job that he's applied for, right? Then last comes your interest test. ठीक है, we need to check onto the pattern of interest, fine, or the kind of the involvement that he has, okay? For example, if we talk about these your interior decorators, ठीक है, तो उसको एक आप वो देते हैं, या इंटीरियर डेकोरेटर को मैंने एक रूम दिया that okay fine, this is one room wherein I want to have a showroom for let's say sports shoes. तो what is the kind of a design, आपको 2 दिन का टाइम दिया जाता है, आप इसका proposed design हमें दिखाइए. तो what are we going to check, ठीक है, कि what is the pattern of his interest. Okay, we'll judge the pattern of his interest from the work, matlab the kind of the involvement that he has with the work, that is what we are going to judge. Then after this was all about selection, this was all about your selection test, right? Based on these two, right? Preliminary screening में आपने shortlist किए, उसके बाद आपने selection test conduct किए, selection test conduct करने के बाद आपने फिर उसमें से shortlist किए candidates. The third step in the process of selection would be employment interview, right? After selection tests have been conducted, it is followed by an employment interview. It is a in-depth interaction of the employer with the employee, wherein an employer will try to seek information that employee is willing to provide. Thereafter, this is followed by reference check, right? Whenever you fill up an application for a particular job, na, it always has this column for writing references, meaning कि आप जो भी अपने बारे में बता रहे हो उसको हम double check किससे करें, right? You give reference of some well-known people. It could be a professor of a university, like I'm talking about my field. When I applied for a job in a school, I gave the reference of the principal of my previous school, that you can check my records from the principal of the previous school, right? How my results have been, how good or how bad I have been, right? So जब आप ये references लिखते हैं तो आप जहाँ पे भी नई job के लिए apply कर रहे हैं तो वो आपके references को call back करते हैं उनसे जानने के लिए that how your past record has been. ठीक है? Then selection decision. Based on that, based on your interview, based on selection test, based on reference check, you make your final selection. You make your final selection that this is the best candidate of the lot, right? Who is best suited for the job position, right? Thereafter, there will be a medical examination. Now, a medical examination जब आपको होता है ऐसा नहीं कि आप अपने डॉक्टर से जाके सारे टेस्ट normal report लेकर आके दे दें. No, you will have to go to a doctor which has been prescribed by the employer, who has been prescribed by the employer, and you'll have to get certain tests and medical examination conducted, right? And if everything is normal, then a job offer is made. A job offer is made in the form of an appointment letter to the job applicant.